श्रीनाथ जी जय बाल गोपाल जय श्रीनाथ जी जय गिरि गोवर्धन
श्रीनाथ जी जय बाल गोपाल जय श्रीनाथ जी जय गिरि गोवर्धन
जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Jnana Timirandasya
Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 So, happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Father's Day.
We'll discuss our Supreme Father, Lord Shri Krishna. So, Krishna spoke last time, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam statavya vajamyaham. And Prabhupada says, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So, Krishna spoke in the prior 2 verses about how to find this perfection of life. Just knowing about Krishna, everything becomes situated. And he said that being free from attachment, fear, and anger, fully absorbed in Him, taking refuge. What does taking refuge mean? Protection. How many of us are always looking for protection? We want protection from our home. We want protection of our wealth, protection of our family, protection of our goals and desires, protection of everything. So where is the ultimate refuge? Shelter? He says, then becoming purified by knowledge, we attain transcendental love of Krishna. So, we know that the spirit soul, it has a natural loving propensity. Actually, no one can be happy without love. That is the intrinsic thirst of the spirit soul. It wants love. We can be mindful of so many different things. We can have so many different possessions, so many different items. But without love, you can be on an island by yourself with all the money and all the accompaniments. But if you have nobody to share it with, you will not find satisfaction. So the happiness that we search for, it comes in relationships. And as we've been saying, our ultimate loving relationship is with Krishna. He is our eternal Father. He says, Aham bija pradaha pita. He is our Pita, our Supreme Father. Yes, we have many material fathers, but our ultimate eternal Father, where we come from, our spirit soul, that is from Krishna. So, Prabhupada is always guiding us, as Krishna is laying out, that this need for happiness and this need for love is not fully satisfied until we learn to love
Krishna.
Every answer today will end with Krishna. When in doubt. So, in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada writes in the preface that this loving propensity, it is not fully satisfied until we learn to love Krishna. So it's not a question of whom to love, it is a question of where. And we have put our love in so many different things. But none of it is giving us the happiness. We love our nation, we love our community, we love our family members, we love this, we love that, some movie star, some cricket team. But none of it is giving us the true happiness we want. Because we are not yet learning to love who? Krishna. So when we learn to love Krishna, we become free from all of these things, this fear and anger and attachment, and become fully happy. Okay? So, now, does Krishna force our love? Never. Sometimes we wish it would be nice if he did. Right? We wish he said, you must love me. Okay, yes. Life would be easier, right? But what gets in the way? Not Krishna. What gets in the way? Our free will. And what is our free will? love or not to love? To be? He said independent. How did he use it?
To enjoy, independent of Krishna. What is it?
We have really one choice. Either I'm going to love Krishna, or I'm going to love not Krishna. That is really our choice. Either I'm going to enjoy my senses, or I'm going to have Krishna serve Krishna's senses. Serving my senses or Krishna's senses. Every day we wake up, we have one of two choices. We think we have so many choices. But it really comes down to two things. Either I'm going to love Krishna, or I'm going to love someone else. Of course, we can understand Krishna to be a little bit broad. Krishna and all of his expansions, all of his acharyas and books and everything, but within the realm. Right? So we have free will, right? So does Krishna only protect and love his devotees? He is
Non-biased.
non-biased. He is?
He's equal to all.
He is equal to all. Why is he equal to all?
Because he is father of
He is
all.
the father of all.
He is father of all. He loves everyone equally, even if the love is not reciprocated. So if he loves us all equally, treats us all equally, then why should we become his devotee?
Because he enjoys.
Because he enjoys. But what's in it for me?
We enjoys more than him.
we enjoy, we experience the happiness even more than Krishna. Just like in a relationship between father and son or daughter. Right? They're living in home. Who enjoys more?
Father.
Father enjoys more? Kids. Right? Always. Father will do anything to see the happiness of child. And seeing the happiness of child, father enjoys. But still, child is always in full bliss. So this is our relationship with Krishna, right? But Krishna says here, as all surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. So what does that mean? What does that mean? As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly.
It depends upon you, like, if you are in front,
What is the percentage of person?
Hmm?
The percentage of person who involvement is how much? Accordingly, you will decide.
Okay.
According to the different intentions of love for him.
According to the different intentions of their love for him.
The reciprocation from Krishna.
The reciprocation. And what is it based on?
Depends upon the degree of surrender.
Based on the degree of surrender. So, let us understand one thing very clearly. And let us ask this. Who is surrendered to Krishna? One person? Two?
Sometimes.
Three? Sometimes?
Sometimes could be many. On the way of surrender.
Four?
Yeah, always.
Always?
In progress. In progress. On the way.
Progress.
So what I'll make the statement that every single living entity is surrendered to Krishna.
Last week you told.
Every single living entity is surrendered to Krishna. But what is the question?
Do we know it or not?
Do we know it or not? Either we are knowingly surrendered to Krishna or we are unknowingly surrendered to Krishna. That is the fact. Just like I am subjected to gravity. Whether I know it or not, does that, if I don't know gravity, then I won't be subjected to, I can float in the air? So we are either surrendered to Krishna's inferior material energy. I am being whipped left, right, and center by the material energy. Or I'm surrendered to Krishna's superior energy. Either Apara Shakti or Para Shakti. One of those two. And who gets to choose?
Be it.
We do. We can either choose to serve the material energy or we can serve the spiritual energy. That is our choice. And accordingly, Krishna will reciprocate with us. So again, ultimately He is going to fulfill our desires. If we don't want to know Krishna, He will hide Himself from us. And what happens if we want to know Krishna?
Surrender.
He'll reveal Himself to us. So again, it is our choice. Right? So this free will comes into play. And Krishna says, as they surrender, I reward. So if one is enjoying their surrender to the material energy, one can continue enjoying such way. What is the result of surrendering to material energy?
Miseries.
Yeah. How many miseries? Threefold miseries. Yeah. Plus? Huh?
Rebirth.
Bondage.
Unlimited rebirth.
Bondage. Unlimited rebirths. Death.
Old age.
Old age.
Disease.
Disease. Adi Atmik, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Daivik. This 7 things, when you surrender to the material energy, that's your gift, your reward. That's it. So the choice of surrender is always the living entities. And that is why the living entity is called marginal energy. Because sometimes it associates with material energy and sometimes spiritual energy. So let's see now. So the question might become, why wouldn't everybody surrender to Krishna then? We're all surrendered to Him anyways. Might as well knowingly surrender. I'm attaining eternal peace and happiness, bliss and enjoyment. So then why doesn't everybody surrender to Krishna? Right? So now Krishna then will answer his question, the same question in verse 12. Someone wants to read 12?
Kanshanta karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devata sipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karma ja. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship in the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. Purport. This is a great misconception about the gods or demigods of this material world. And men of less intelligence, although passing as great scholars, take these demigods to be various forms of Supreme Lord. Actually, the demigods are not different from different forms of God, but they are God's different parts and parcels. God is one and the parts and parcels are many. The Veda says Nityo Nityanam. God is one, Ishvara Parama Krishna. The Supreme God is one, Krishna. And the demigods are delegated with powers to manage this material world. These demigods are all living entities, Nityanam, with different grades of material power. They cannot be equal to Supreme God, Narayana, Vishnu or Krishna. Anyone who thinks that God and demigods are on the same level is called an atheist or Pasandi. Even the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. In fact, the Lord is worshipped by demigods such as Brahma and Shiva. Shiva Brinsi Nuta. Yet, curiously enough, there are many human leaders who are worshipped by foolish men under the misunderstanding of anthropomorphism or zoomorphism. Iha Devata denotes a powerful man or demigod of this material world. But Narayana, Vishnu or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not belong to this world. He is above or transcendental to material creation. Even Sripada Sankaracharya, the leader of the impersonalists, maintains that Narayana or Krishna is beyond this material creation. However, foolish people Jana, who worship the demigods because they want immediate results. They get results but do not know that results so obtained are temporary and are meant for less intelligent persons. The intelligent person is in Krishna consciousness and he has no need to worship the paltry demigods for some immediate temporary benefit. The demigod of this material world as well as their worshippers will vanish with annihilation of this material world. The boons of the demigods are material and temporary. Both the material world and their inhabitants, including the demigods and their worshippers, are bubbles in the cosmic ocean. In this world, however, human society is mad after temporary things such as the material opulence of possessing land, family, and enjoyable paraphernalia. To achieve such temporary things, people worship demigods or powerful men in human society. If a man gets some ministership in the government by worshipping a political leader, he considers that he has achieved a great boon. All of them are therefore kowtowing to the so-called leaders or big guns in order to achieve temporary boons, and they indeed achieve such things. Such foolish men are not interested in Krishna consciousness for the permanent solution to the hardship of material existence. They're all after sense enjoyment, and to get a little facility for sense enjoyment, they are attracted to worshipping empowered living entities known as demigods. This verse indicates that people are rarely interested in Krishna consciousness. They're mostly interested in material enjoyment, and therefore they worship some powerful living entity.
So, why do people worship the demigods?
Material enjoyment.
Material enjoyment. And what is the nature of the fruits of the material enjoyment?
Temple.
Temporary and limited. And what is the nature of the fruits of devotional service? So easy. Done. What else is there to do? But what's the problem? The challenge?
Faith.
Faith. So there is some benefit when you worship Krishna. The results sometimes take
Long
time. But when you worship the devatas, the results are quick. Right? And as society is progressing, we're becoming increasingly instant society. We want everything fast. Right? But, so, the options are ours. Right? First of all, who created the system of worshipping the demigods?
Krishna.
Krishna. And how do we know that?
He says.
Because the processes for worshipping the Vedas are contained within, for worshipping the demigods are contained within the Vedas. And where the Vedas came from?
Brahma.
Where Brahma got it?
Krishna. Lord Krishna.
Krishna. So Krishna is the author of the Vedas. And that knowledge was imparted upon to Brahma. Right? So we see in the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? That this knowledge was imparted into the heart, the Hridaya of Lord Brahma. So, why Krishna created this system of then of demigod worship? He's saying here, not, more descriptive. Later on, he's going to say that the worship of the demigods are Nitya Gyan. What does Nitya Gyan mean?
Not so intelligent.
Yeah, but exactly what does it mean? What is
Less intelligent.
Point
Foolish.
intelligence.
Not quite spoiled, but close.
You always use that word.
Intelligence is gyan. What does ritta mean? Stolen.
Stolen.
It is one whose intelligence is stolen. Worships the demigods. That is Krishna's words. That is Krishna speaking. We'll speak that a little bit later. Because just like if you go to the doctor and you ask him or her, you cure me just for today. No problem if it comes back tomorrow. Anybody would go to the doctor with such a request? You want a permanent cure. So if we're being subjected to birth, death, old age, disease, adhyatmita, adibaitika, adidevi, these 7 miseries, what kind of relief do we want from them? Permanent. Temporary relief will not satisfy us. We want permanent relief. So Krishna is saying that if you go to the demigods, what kind of relief can they give you?
Temporary.
Why? Who are the demigods?
Devotees.
They're devotees of Krishna. And what is their tattva?
Jiva.
They're jiva tattva. They're jiva tattva. They're very advanced jiva tattva. They're brilliant jiva tattva. Which why Prabhupada comments, they also will be destroyed with the annihilation of the material manifestation. Right? So whatever they can, if they're temporary, what they can give is also temporary. The person is not temporary, but the post is temporary. The post is temporary. Right? Whoever occupies the post of Lord Indra, it is occupied for a certain duration. The duration of 1 manu. But after that time, then somebody else occupies that post. Just like the president of the United States or some country. It's a post. And different people occupy that position. So, who is the supreme eternal? But I thought we are eternal also. We are eternal?
Yes. Soul.
We are eternal. So we are eternal and Krishna is eternal. That mean we are the same? Nityo Nityananam. In the Katha Upanishad, this verse comes. That there is one chief eternal amongst all eternals. There's one chief eternal. And what that chief eternal is doing? Eko yo bahunam vidadati kaman. He is maintaining all of us. Anybody now wants to be chief eternal and maintain everybody? It's difficult to maintain oneself. Maybe one's family. After that, forget it. But Krishna is the chief eternal, and he is maintaining everybody. So, the different devatas, they have this purpose of fulfilling one's material desires. So if you have material desires, the demigods will fulfill them if you perform certain rituals, certain methodologies, right? But is this the prescribed form of worship, of surrender? Why not? It's in the Vedas. It's in the Vedas. Nobody wants wants to enter these hot waters with me. Everybody is shy.
It's not recommended by Krishna.
Yeah, it's not recommended by Krishna. But why Krishna is not recommending it?
Because
Does he want everybody to worship him, so he's feeling envious of the different demigods?
out of lot of care and love for us.
Out of care and love for us. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, and Mataji was also.
So it's like watering the root versus watering the trees or leaves, like that. So if we worship Krishna and all the demigods, because they are part and parcel of Krishna.
So by worshipping Krishna, we are satisfying all the demigods. All 33 million of them. It is not either or. Because we are in great debt to all of the different demigods. Because of their facilities, we are existing and surviving in this world. They are providing all the different facilities. Under whose direction? Krishna's. Because Krishna is Ishvara Parama Krishna. Ishvara means? Parama means?
Ultimate.
Ultimate. So who is the ultimate controller? Ishvara Parama Krishna. And according, who wrote this verse?
Brahmaji.
Brahmaji. Lord Brahma is saying. Yeah, Krishna is saying also. But Lord Brahma himself is also saying. Right? So, this Krishna is recommending it because, yes, by worshipping Krishna you can satisfy all the different demigods. Why else? Why else is he going to tell us?
Krishna don't want us to stay in this Dukkalayam and Shashvatam. Since he is so merciful and compassionate on us, he is giving the right knowledge. If you keep doing this, you will keep staying here. So he is giving the knowledge how to come back to that spiritual world.
A good doctor wants to give a permanent cure, not just cover up the symptoms. Permanent cure. Good doctor. So Krishna is giving to his dear friend Arjuna the best of advice he has, which will be for the best benefit for Arjuna. So he's telling him, if you want a permanent cure, you worship me. Because I am the root of the tree. But whatever boons you get, you may obtain some very amazing boons and be able to fly in celestial airplanes and drink the somarasa and enjoy in beautiful celestial gardens. But when your pious credits are used up, what happens? Come right back. So we may temporarily cover up the symptoms, but the root cause is not being solved. So Krishna is saying to his dear friend Arjuna, don't just cover up the symptoms, solve them permanently. And what is the cause of our birth, death, old age, disease, adhyatmik, adibhautik, adidevik?
Envy.
Envy. That's the result. Our separation from Krishna. We chose to leave Krishna. So how to solve it?
Go back to
Go back to Krishna. And that's why it says, as you surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. If you worship Krishna, you get him. If you want to worship the demigods, you can worship the demigods. Whose choice is it? Our choice. So how to make a good choice? How do we make a good choice? With intelligence. Because somebody says do this, we do this. We have to acquire knowledge. We have to analyze. What are the pros and cons? What is the evidence? Where's the proof? You say this says this person says this person says this. Right? How many opinions are there of who is God? One? One opinion? Two? Not more than two. How many opinions there are? Unlimited. Because people even manufacture their own gods. They manufacture their own gods. Right? So our knowledge has to come from Scripture, from Shastra. It must come from Shastra. It doesn't matter what I think or what you think, or what my family lineage thinks, or what my country thinks, or what my society thinks. All that changes. With this body gone, what will I think tomorrow? What matters is what Ishvara Parama says. Because he has absolute knowledge and absolute love for all of us. Every instruction of a loving father is for the benefit of their child. Krishna is our Supreme Father. Every single instruction in his Bhagavad Gita is for our benefit. He is not speaking for his own self-satisfaction. So, this is so clear, is it not? Yet there's unlimited confusion on this topic. Unlimited discontent on this topic. But it is black and white. It is clear. So if we have material desires, what should we do?
Go to Krishna if you want to.
We should still worship Krishna. Right? So if we have material desires, we should worship Krishna. Why?
Krishna says that.
Huh?
Krishna asks us to do that.
Well, one, that is the best reason. Krishna tells us to do it. That means we are surrendered to Krishna. But why Krishna? What benefit does Krishna say occurs when you go to him with your material desires?
He purifies
He
those
will-
desires and
He purifies those desires.
He will give what we
And he'll give what is best for us. When child says, I want ice cream, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. At least my children say that. So, what does father do? Give it to him?
take them to library.
Prabhu take it to
Once in a while, okay? Once in a while. Not every day. Only once in a while.
drawing ice cream.
So father and mother gives based on what's good for the child. So when we go to Krishna and ask him for millions of dollars and wonderful children and a promotion in the job and this, that, and the other, how long is our list of wants? Unlimited. Unlimited list. So, but Krishna gives, but he gives according to
Merit.
what's that?
Merit.
Not only merit, yes, he reciprocates, but why he doesn't always fulfill our desire, and why he sometimes does, based on
What is good for us?
what is good for us. Because Krishna is our all-loving Father. The demigods, when you worship them, on what basis do they give? Based on what's good for us?
Exchange.
Based on
What
What we pay for that.
what sacrifice we did. If we performed a yajna according to the formula, it is given. That's it. There is no thought about whether it is good or bad. And what proof do we have of that? Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, so many, right? They worshipped perfectly according to Shastra. with great intensity and sincerity. And they were reciprocated with. Even though they knew it was bad for them. That is the nature. But when we worship Krishna, He gives according to what is good for us. So sometimes He'll fulfill your desire, sometimes not. So what is the safest way? If we have material desire, who is the safest person to worship? Krishna. Because if you think back in the history of your life, have all your desires been good for you?
No. Most of them are dangerous.
Thank you. At least one is honest. At least one is honest. Most of them are dangerous. When the child is desiring ice cream, is it good for him? No. But based on their consciousness, if you ask him, is ice cream good for you? What they'll say? Yes. 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 It's milk. Sounds like a mother who's heard that explanation. Right? The child is convinced it's good for us. Them, right? So they ask. But we know that their understanding is immature. Right? Well, when we go and ask for various material boons, are we sure they are good for us? This promotion, this, amount of money, this help, are we sure it's good for us? But we think we are. Just as a child is assured ice cream is good for them, we think, no, I know what I need. But you look back, if you write down all your desires, and you realize, oh, good thing this didn't come. Oh boy, good thing this one didn't come. And that list is like that. So Krishna knows what is best for us. That is the first one. What is the second reason to approach Krishna if you have material desires? He'll purify. Well, that sounds bad. Huh? Krishna's going to take away all my desires. I want $1 million, and if I go to Krishna, He's going to take away that desire. No, I want $1 million. Why I would go to Him? I don't. Krishna is brainwashing me into forgetting my desires, you're saying. So what does purifying of those desires mean?
He provides what we lack and He protects what we have.
He provides what we lack and protects what we have. But why? What does it mean that He purifies of our desires? Maybe there's a better way to say it.
No attachment towards it.
No attachment? Huh? Dovetails it? Yeah.
He increases the spiritual desire. He knows what is the best desires we want to have. So it is not like not having the desires. So He will give the best desires, which gives ultimate happiness.
So when we say purify desires, He is giving us better desires. He's not taking away our desire, erasing them with an eraser. I want to purify this window, I'll clean it and take away. No. Purify desire means He's elevating our desires. If someone offers your child $100 or 10 pieces of chocolate, what the young child will take? Chocolate. So you as a loving father, what will you do? You'll tell the child, don't take the chocolate. Take the $100. You can get 1,000 chocolates. Take the $100. You'll whisper into his ear. Now the child says, you give 10 chocolates or $100. What child will do?
Chocolates.
No. He'll take the $100. He has heard. He's understood.
Instant.
So Krishna, like that, saying, why are you asking for $1 million, few chocolates? No, ask for something better. Something more significant. Krishna Prema. Love of God. So, when we say purify our desires, don't be fearful. Oh no, Krishna is going to rid me of all my material desires and I'll be left with nothing. No, Krishna is teaching us how to trade chocolates for $100. How to trade all of our material desires for something far, far, far superior. Something way better. But I don't know it. Just like the child can't see. He sees paper and he sees chocolate. He'll choose chocolate. We see $1 million, we see Krishna Prema. I'll take the $1 million. Because we don't have knowledge yet of what Krishna Prema is. So when we worship Krishna, He'll give what is good for us, but He'll also help us see the ultimate. He'll elevate our desires, giving us more results, not less. But foolish people, if that child, after hearing this, still chooses chocolate, would we consider that child intelligent? So he made a foolish decision. Child may not be foolish, but the decision was foolish. So now when Krishna says, knowing this, those who worship demigods have their intelligence stolen. That's a fact. It's descriptive. So what is our job? To help everyone see how to make good decisions like this. Who to worship. What to worship for. That is why we spread this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So we'll end here. Any questions or comments?
In the beginning of the discussion, you said surrender, either through the energy of Krishna to Krishna. What exactly the surrender means, bro? Like Krishna also says in the end of the Bhagavad Gita, surrender unto me. Is it the one aspect, or it's a huge aspect of the surrender?
So I think the last time we discussed this also, so it's good. There are 6 symptoms of surrender. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has described these in Sharanagati, the word surrender. So there are 6 aspects of consciousness that means we are surrendered. To the extent we believe and live by this, it means we have surrendered. Okay? So sometimes it's hard to know, am I surrendered to Krishna or not? Right? So if you write these 6 questions down, these 6 statements down, and we grade ourselves 1 to 10. How fully convicted am I in these 6 things? Then we know, okay, I'm surrendered or not. And you can write the date down today, June 16th, 1619, and write your number. And then 6 months from now, write again. And we can see, am I becoming more surrendered or less? So the 6 principles of surrender are 1, 2, accept all the things that are favorable for Krishna consciousness. If I'm accepting all the things that are favorable, and 2, rejecting all the things that are unfavorable, that means I'm surrendered to the process of bhakti. Because Krishna has said, these are the favorable things, these are the unfavorable things. I am following the do's and don'ts, the yamas and niyamas. To the extent I am doing, that means I am surrendered. 3, that I understand that Krishna is my eternal protector. No one else can protect me like Krishna can protect me. My whole safety and security is provided by Krishna. To the extent that is in my consciousness, fixed, my full life insurance policy. That is surrender. The 4th symptom is that I have full understanding that Krishna is my maintainer. Every single breath I take is being given by Krishna. Everything I have around me is given by Krishna. Again, these are all facts. I am protected by Krishna. Everything is given by Krishna. That's a fact. But do I understand that? To the extent my consciousness is in that mood, I am surrendered to Krishna. 5. My activities are one with Krishna. Meaning I do what Krishna wants me to do. How much I is in I. That is the measure of my surrender. He is my provider, my maintainer. He has given me the do's and don'ts. How much has my life been dovetailed to His desires? That is true. That is 5. And the 6th, humility. We can say the most important aspect of surrender. Because until there is humility, I'm my own person. I don't need that. I'm not maintained by Krishna. I'm protected with my own muscles. So humility is, in some ways, the foundation of surrender. Until there is humility, surrender will not come. So, it's a great question because surrender is not some ambiguous concept. It's very precise. That is the glory of our Shastra. That everything is precise. It's not left to our mental speculation. Yeah, I'm surrendered to Krishna. Yeah, I'm surrendered. Okay, let's see. This is the measure of our surrender. It's a very nice way for us to think about it and evaluate. So that's surrender. It's okay?
Thank you.
Very necessity for demigods is provided. What is necessity? When Supreme Lord is available here, He can control everything.
Yes.
So He can do all wonders.
Yes.
Why demigod should be nominated? Through that the work was carried out and we are deserving. We are also appreciating and we are doing all things to demigods to sacrifice and to reach the goal of the Krishna.
So why he did that?
Yes. Why?
So it's a good question. So Krishna can do everything himself. Why he empowered the demigods? Why he provided these processes of yajna to the demigods? So there are a couple different angles for that. One, Krishna has only one activity. And that what's the only activity Krishna has?
Enjoy with his devotees.
Huh?
Loving devotees.
Enjoy playing.
Enjoy with his devotees. That's it. That is the only activity of Krishna. Just to enjoy with his devotees. It actually means, and what is our only activity?
Enjoy with Krishna.
To enjoy with Krishna. We are not meant to slave in the factories, in the offices, no. Our only activity is to enjoy with Krishna. That's it. But all the material affairs need to be carried out because not everybody wants to enjoy with Krishna. Krishna did not create the material world for himself. The only reason he created the material world is because some of us decided, I don't want to be with Krishna. I'd rather be here. So then Krishna created the material world. And he outsourced the activities of maintaining all of the affairs. Under his jurisdiction, he created the laws, he created the resources. Whatever benediction a devata gives, where do they get it from? Krishna. So he has so many administrative, functional heads that are performing all of these different activities. Now, why he provided the prescription to worship the demigods if he wants us to worship him? Why is confusing us? You may wonder, right? Why he gave that? The reason he gave is that Krishna says at the end very clearly, crystal clear, black and white, sarva dharmam prityaja. You abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. So there is no ambiguity, there is no scope for anything else. He says, sarva, all. dharma. Everything. That's everything. What's not included in everything? Nothing. It's black and white. So what he instructs as the best for all of us is clear. So then why he gave all these other worship? Because still, due to our lack of knowledge, impurities, and false ego, we may not be ready to surrender to Krishna. So he says, okay, you're not ready to surrender to me. You worship these demigods. By worshipping the demigods, the first step of surrender is happening. And that first step is, I am acknowledging I am not my own provider. I am still dependent on somebody else to give me. I have to sacrifice something to get something. That is the first step in surrender. And the demigods, the benefit in that is the result is quick. So what happens when the result is quick? My faith builds. When I surrender to the demigods and I get some quick money, oh, this works. These books actually have something. And I'll do it again and again, maybe a few times. Then somebody will tell me that, if you do this yajna in your next life, you'll get 1,000-year birth. And very beautiful form. And very little sickness. Really? Because I have faith in the first sacrifices, okay, let's do it. Now immediately, I have faith in soul. Because if I'm saying next life, it means now I'm having faith in soul. I experienced that. But after going there and experiencing that, I'm still noticing something. There is still, this greed is there. If there is greed, it means there's not full satisfaction. There is still anxiety, fear. We know, we read it. The devatas are always fearful of their position. Right? So, there's fear. So that will lead us to inquire, well, this happiness is there, but it's limited and it's temporary. And I have to go back down after my, visa stamp says I can stay for so long. At that end date, I have to go. Is there something I can go eternally? Yeah. Where? You worship Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Really? Who is he? Oh, he is the provider of all the things we are giving you. And like this, slowly, one can take step by step to come to worship Krishna. That is why, so for those who are not yet of able intelligence to know what to do, he has provided these other steps. But it is not that, I have to qualify first, because Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachit. You don't need to be some high-class person. You don't need to be a pure person. You don't need to be anything to do bhakti. But if you won't do bhakti, even though it's so great, then do something that will slowly. But the problem with the devata worship is, if we don't continue inquiring, we'll be stuck there and we'll never progress further. And that is the danger of such worship. And why Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't do it. You worship me directly. So that is why he gave this demigod worship. Couple different reasons.
So he's curtailing everything. He has to get everything from bottom itself. So when he comes there, so only liberation only should come to him.
Yes.
All they should not decide. All should stay here itself.
Krishna is the source of everything. Right? Brahma in this verse says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda. It means he is the source of everything. Govinda is the source of everything. Sarva Karana Karanam. Of all the causes, he is the cause. It's very clear. If we have knowledge. Anything else?
Krishna is confronting with Gopistan also they are only bhakti. They are examples for
Yeah, they are pure devotees.
because they were, even though they are playing with the Krishna and everything, their source of treatment, their source of enjoyment with the Krishna, that is a bhakti which is even in the place of the Bhavan also I have seen that. It was so.
Highest mood of bhakti. We have many examples. Okay?
Just wanted to
Yeah, please.
small comment. Just the one which you were mentioning that just struck me. Like in the demigod worship, if we get stuck, we don't inquire, then we will remain there. So, and that's what happens with most of us. That when we are involved in the demigod worship, there is no scope actually for much of inquiry. It's like it is being told that we have to do it, and we do it, and we get that material. Whereas in Krishna consciousness, that's the best part which I noticed, that we kind of are able to inquire, get into the deep of it, not too much overanalyze it, but understand the basics, the facts, and then move on. So that's the difference, which is really how, because of Prabhupada's mercy.
That's why it's called a ritual. Ritual is we just do it. Right? Whereas bhakti is not a ritual. Bhakti is love. Love is not mechanical. So we can go deeper into the why and the how. Nice realization. Thank you. Anything else?
What factor makes us to come to Krishna consciousness? Because we started with the demigod worship only. And what factors others are not coming? Because they also started with the demigod.
Only one factor. The causeless mercy of a devotee. That's it. Someone had compassion on all of us and opened our eyes. That is it. Krishna, seeing the real desire in our heart, sends forth Guru Tattva, the spiritual master, to come and show us the truth. That is it. It is nothing we did on our own. And our job then is to be gratefully appreciative of this extraordinary gift we have, which is someone has shown us this way. And if we want to show a small fraction of our appreciation, we'll facilitate the causeless mercy to pure devotees by helping them propagate this message further. That is it.
Yes, some people will do a lot of demigod worship, but they stuck there only.
Yeah. So you can unstuck them. Not by criticizing, but by, with love, explaining. This is nice. Now add this. You add this. Don't subtract, just add. By adding Krishna consciousness, everything else will, Krishna will reveal to them. So our job is to unstuck people. If we don't, it means we don't have compassion. We don't have compassion.
But what if we say that, like he mentioned that, and we kind of explain to the people who are worshipping the demigods, that the others are explaining so many. Some people do understand, some don't. So the ones who are not understanding are the one because they do not get that enough jnana sukruti, or is it because of something else? Because there is a mercy there to all of them. So, but why some people are getting it, some not.
Yeta mam prapadyante. It's according to our degree of surrender. It's still our choice, our free will. Our job is at least to make it available. And if they're not taking directly, then indirectly feed them one rasgulla. Ultimately, by the mercy of the Mahaprasad offered to Krishna, their heart will purify. So if philosophy doesn't work, Prabhupada started this whole movement on gulab jamuns. Whole movement. And look where it got him. That's not an overstatement or an exaggeration. Don't get stuck on gulab jamuns. Anything else?
Bhakti will come subsequently. After reaching the gulab jam, bhakti will come. The saturation point has come, then it goes to the. Till that time, gulab jam will be there.
Somebody is engaging rasgullas. Yes. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai. Nanda Koti Vaishnavrinda ki